Simon McWhirter, thank you for joining us. Now, you are from the UK Green Building Council. Just tell me exactly, what does the council do?
Yeah, so our mission is to drive a really radical improvement in the sustainability of the UK's built environment. So we are a member organisation bringing together sort of the progressive tip of the spear of companies involved in buildings in every way in the UK. And we try to shape technical guidance, work with government to deliver better frameworks to drive change and accelerate that change across the country.
And when it comes to the UK, how are we doing?
We've had our moments in the sun in recent decades where we've been at the front of the pack at a global level, showing real climate leadership in this space. At the moment, we're probably not in such a strong position. We've ceded a lot of that ground on an international basis through some of the big moves we made, sort of weakening green policy generally. And if you look across our housing stock, we have the oldest, leakiest housing in the whole of Europe. So we've got a pretty big hill to climb when we look at how to address those sort of big challenges.
And how do you address it? Because you have housing in the Hebrides, very different to the situation in somewhere like Manchester. How do you deal with that?
We've got, nearly 30 million homes in the country. We need to retrofit almost all of them by 2050. It's roughly 2 homes retrofitted per minute towards a net zero standard, and we're a country mile off those sort of targets. And obviously, as you say, the challenges in city centre Manchester versus the Outer Hebrides are really different, not just in terms of weather patterns, but in terms of what is the skills base, what does the supply chain look like. A lot of it's about really deep collaboration to fix these things. And actually in Scotland, we have a partnership with an organisation called Built Environment Smarter Transformation. And they're one of the UK's leading construction innovation centres. And they're looking at how to build out much better quality buildings and retrofit those buildings in a much more automated, mechanised way to sort of really improve quality control and delivery. And in Manchester, actually, it's probably the city leader in the UK of having a really coherent, large-scale plan for delivering that housing retrofit. The problem is those are pockets of good practice in the country, and what we don't have is a systematic approach to that good practice, and that's where that overarching strategy is needed to sort of tie all these good bits together, identify the gaps, and then we can sort of start to address the problems. But at the minute, yeah, we're pretty miles off on that.
And for the homeowner themselves, if you want to develop your house and make it eco, it's really difficult. Everything's all over the place. All the information is not very coherent.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's part of that wider strategy and plan. So, what we've been doing through UK Green Building Council and a Regenerative Places programme that we've got is say, what does that accelerated delivery programme need to look like on the ground? And a big bit of that is a one-stop shop. So that's where those homeowners or small business proprietors can go to and get access to where they get the money from to do it, get really trusted information on what they need to do, get access to info on who can bloody do it in their area, and then get on and do things and have that comfort that they're paying the right price, getting qualified skilled trades in to do it. And just that single point of contact approach is what's really key, because it gets us away from the slight miasma at the moment of just everything everywhere.
Okay, now there's nothing cheers a person up more than a tree that can change your whole personality. Tell me about 330-300.
So it's one of the ways that we're looking at in the UK to really address some of the challenges around a future warmer climate. Let's have more pocket parks and green space and woodland and trees, and let's link them together into a system that means that we're creating green networks through our areas. And 330-300 is basically saying from our house we should be able to see 3 trees, we should have about 30% tree canopy cover in our local neighbourhood, and we should be within 300 metres of a local park or other green space. But actually also it's about joy for the people. It's about the access to nature. It's about being able to walk the dog or take the kids out or go for a stroll in a local park and see lovely stuff out the window. So it's about sort of understanding that lots of the things that we're doing with more sustainable built environment, they tackle the big climate and nature crises, but actually they're about quality of life improvements. They're about giving better social value. They're about our health and well-being in our homes and around our homes.
So climate change is making our cities hotter. You've created the Climate Resilience Roadmap. Tell me about that.
So it's quite straightforward and easy in a sense, in that it looks at 2050 and says we need a fully adapted, resilient built environment by 2050. What do we need to do between now and then to get there? So it looks at the policy changes needed, more green space, better flood defence, more resilience to overheating in buildings. And then it looks also at what industry needs to do to get us there. So it just sets out a sequential set of instructions effectively as to how we get to that resilient point. So it sounds very straightforward, a lot of hard work to do to get us there, but that's what we're here to do as UKGBC.
Simon, thank you very much.
Thank you.